welcome back to the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS.
And remember, our goal is always to guide you to personal and financial wellness.
Well, we appreciate you hanging in there on this Saturday for the Don and Gino Real Estate and Finance Show. And we're now at the last segment of this show. And it's our saddest segment because we love being with you every Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on your hometown station, AM 1220 KHTS and FM now 98.1. And you can find out more at hometownstation.com. In fact, we're now doing articles, Gino.
We are. The good thing is that they're able to share with everybody what we talk about on a weekly basis to ensure that they have it in writing and on their mobile devices, right. So they can click the hyperlinks and get to all the information a little bit easier.
Yeah, so what Gino's alluding to is we do what's called the National Real Estate Cafe. It was our way to do a daily blog because we couldn't do it on the show because we were only here once a week. So now we do a daily video blog called the National Real Estate Cafe, which you can find out more at nrecafe.com, or it's also on donandgino.com. And we give you updates of what's really happening in the financial and real estate markets with interest rates, the markets, what the media is spinning on, appreciation levels, so much more. It's great information, and you can find out more again at nrecafe.com. In fact, you can get these sent to your phone by texting NREC to the number 58881.
Nope,
and it goes
58885.
Oh, yeah. 58885. That's right. It's bookended.
That's right.
I don't know where that came from.
And, you know, that's one of the things. It used to be called the Word on Wealth is what we used to do here on the show. And it just wasn't enough to do it once a week.
Right.
The economy's too dynamic to go over it once a week. And today I think we're going to do a little bit of an economic update, which we haven't done in a while on the show. We're always tied up with our interviews, which are fantastic and we always learn from. But today we'll give them kind of an economic snapshot because, you know, I think it's an interesting time. We might be in a tipping point, right? I see a lot of joy in the marketplace. Consumer confidence is almost at an all-time high.
Small business optimism is some of the highest level it's been in years.
Yeah, for sure a decade, right? So for sure we've seen the best numbers in a decade. And in some cases, I mean, unemployment.
I think the best in 40 years, they said.
I was going to say, there's some things that are the best since, you know, in the last 30, 40 years. So I think we're in a great place. So that always begs to differ. The naysayers are like, oh, we're ready to crash. Because it can't be this good. It can't be this good.
They've been saying that for years, though.
Yeah, well, you know how like we always talk about, those that are always calling the crash will someday be right if every day they say it's going to crash.
There you go.
Yeah. But as Chris Ingram with Ingram Financial Solutions alluded to, and he quoted somebody, Peter, I can't remember his last name, but he said that more money is lost by sitting on the sidelines waiting for something to turn to turn negative than it is that what they would have gained if they buy at the low.
Right.
So it's always best to get in when you can, enjoy your life. Don't, I know so many people that have been waiting for what? Now they've been renting for 4 years. They're crazy.
Well, and if you look on our thing, and we're going to do some more cafe videos, and you're going to see the appreciation levels. I mean, there's a lot of people who have gained a lot of wealth in the last 5 to 6 years that purchase homes based on our advice. Get out there and buy. And I know you're afraid because you're like, oh, interest rates, they're raising interest. Just so you know, when you hear that the feds are raising interest rates, that is short-term interest rates such as equity loans, car loans, credit cards, which is a bummer, but it does not affect the housing market. In fact, interest rates have been flat. Literally for months now, they have not moved. They actually went higher than they are today. In May, they were higher than they are today. They're down about 0.25% to 0.375% from where they were in May. So we're still in the upper fours and low fives.
And what's interesting is that there's a little bit more lending flexibility, right? Because
all the time.
With the refis going away, what's happened is that volume has gone down at lenders, and when volume goes down, what do? They loosen the guidelines.
It's funny how they do that.
Just every time it happens.
But
now,
don't
it's not crazy.
Yeah,
it's
both of
not
us,
crazy.
Don't worry.
It's little things that were stupid in the first place that are finally being adjusted a little bit.
Yeah.
So we're seeing some
over-regulation.
Over-regulation is being removed.
Believe me, the cool thing is, we will tell you that the housing market's strong and mortgages are strong. People are qualifying. It's required by law that we prove that they qualify to purchase a home.
Well,
and they can repay the payment.
There's a little bit more liberalism in the qualifying, Don, is like we had situations where someone would have $7 million in the bank and they couldn't qualify for a $2 million loan. And that was just absurd.
Yes.
You know. And so that absurdity is gone, and now there's ways for that person to qualify. Now they're going to pay a slightly higher interest rate because they're not going to be able to get the government-sponsored rates. They're going to have to pay prime capital rates, which are basically rates from banks that are looking to make a profit.
Or investors looking to make a profit.
Yeah.
They're like, I have to have a little bit more return on my buck for the risk.
Sure, and if they can get 4% on a bond, why would they lend money at 4% to an individual? They should lend it at 6.
There you go. So there are options now. So the good news, the challenge right now is that we just don't have a lot of inventory. For those of you that own homes, that's a good thing because you're getting appreciation on a regular basis. But it is trapping them in their homes, isn't it?
It sure is, man. I mean, we talk about the reason we don't have any inventory is why would you move? Let's talk about that for a second, right? So let's take the scenario of Average Joe, we'll call him. And Average Joe bought a house 5 years ago. He did a good job, right? Bought a house 5 years ago, has a ton of equity now, and let's just say about a $400,000 house here in Los Angeles. Now it's a $525,000 house. He bought it at 3.5%.
Right.
So he's got $100 and some odd $1,000 of equity. Let's just call it $100 after he pays his cost to sell. He's got $100,000 of equity. He really would like to have a bigger home. But if he moves to this bigger home, now his interest rate's going to go from 3.5 to 4.75, and he's got to pay property taxes based on the new home, which is going to be now, let's say if he's moving up 6 something.
Right.
And so he's got to pay higher property taxes. He's got a lesser tax deduction potentially now based on new tax laws that were passed this year.
Right.
And he's got a higher interest rate. So Average Joe says, hey, if I just stay in this house another 5 years, the kids will probably leave, and I won't need to upsize then downsize. So what we've done is we've eliminated some of the movement that people have had in their lives, and they're just staying in smaller places. And you say, you know, and I just came back from Argentina, you know, you could have larger families in smaller houses. Here in the United States is the biggest houses anywhere in the world. Go to Europe and check out any of the houses there. They're tiny.
Right.
You know, the bedrooms are
Just
tiny. The
and the
kitchens
cars
are
are
tiny.
tiny.
The rooms are tiny. Everything's smaller, right? Because they can't just afford to have this rich opulence that we have here, all this space. So you look at that and you say, you know, that guy's going to make the decision to just stay.
But then we can talk about why he should.
Well, the reason he should is because a $700,000 house appreciating at 5% annually appreciates better than a $500,000 house appreciating annually.
Well, and also if you wait, maybe let's just say we don't know where the market's always going to be. We're not, but basically we're still supposed to have appreciation for quite some time. That $700,000 house, meaning eventually I need a bigger house for my family. Or I want a bigger house. Or I want the pool. Well, now maybe instead of paying $700,000, maybe you're now paying $850.
Well, so I have a close friend of mine who's actually a really sharp individual, and just couldn't get past the fact that he wanted to wait for the housing market to turn, because for the last 2 years it's been waiting like the jump rope. Oh, now it's going to turn. Now it's going to turn. I mean, you could almost every September freak out and think it's going to turn and never come back, which someday it will. Well, what's happened is in his price range is the amount that homes have been going up annually are outpacing the amount of money he can save from his income. And so he's actually lost money 3 years in a row chasing
that over and over.
So he's lost money on his interest rate. He's lost money because he can't save fast enough, and the property values are completely outpacing him, and he's frustrated. And every year that goes by, it gets worse because like now I lost more money. Now it's close. Now he thinks it's going to turn
5% even though L.A. County's been over
like
7%. So 7% on $1 million, $70,000 a year times 5 is $350,000.
Yeah.
Ow.
Yeah.
$350,000
so let's say over
waiting.
that. Let's say over that time he saved $200 waiting, trying to catch the market.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying it's not a bad situation he's in or anything, but he's just missed the opportunity. And every time you wait longer, it's kind of a self-fulfilling prophecy because now he thinks it's closer to the crash than it is to the bottom.
Yeah.
So he waits another year. And properties keep going up, and it just keeps happening. It's the same story over and over again.
All right, bottom line is, overall, the markets are good. We're just low on inventory at homes, but interest rates are great. There's more options than ever for you to get into a home, and we suggest you look into your options. And we'll be glad to help you out here at Skyline Home Loans. We have the best loan officers all are super experienced. They really care. We have the best people in the world right here at Skyline Homes. You can find out more at SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com. That's SantaClaritaHomeLoan.com. If you ever want to find out more, you can always email us at donandgino@gmail.com or go to our website, donandgino.com. That's what we do, and we're glad to help you in any way. We're glad we get to spend every Saturday with you, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. Again, find out more at donandgino.com. Anything else, Gino?
No, that's it. Just thank you for joining us, and it's good to be back this week.
Have a great weekend.